I don't like this. Oops, come here. Come here. Oh, come here. This is much better. Hey, love. So hot. So hot. Oh my gosh. I'm so hot. Hey. Oh, thanks for the flower. Me, I'm in California. It's so hot. This is a desert. You know that? California can be so hot. Hi, Shabon. Think I'm good. I think you're good too. Felipe, what are you saying? Me no comprende. Me no comprende español. I don't, I don't speak Spanish. I don't. So what are you guys doing for Halloween? I've seen the stores. They started advertising Halloween things. I really don't celebrate Halloween at all. Oh, those dogs are cute. Oh, you can see them. I think a lot of things right now are AI. Cooking. I'm really tired of swiping. Like nothing interesting here. You're from Mexico and you live in Riverside. Yeah, that somebody told me in Mexico they don't learn English, and so it's very hard. You live in Corazon? Oh wow. Yeah, I use Duolingo. Do you use Duolingo to learn English? I use Duolingo to learn Spanish, but I have a free account. When I get money, I'm going to buy a subscription for Duolingo so that I can learn Spanish. Oh, you're in Ukraine. Oh, Obvious True is in Ukraine. Where are you? Are you still in Ukraine right now? How's Ukraine right now? If you're in Ukraine. Oh wow, you're in Ukraine and you speak Spanish. And you speak English very well. That's nice. I'm in California. It's very hot. Normally I like wearing my clothes, but it's just too hot for me. You can hear my, what's call it, my air conditioning unit just running, because if it wasn't running, I don't know, I'd probably, I don't know if I'd be able to do anything right now. It's just too hot. Ukraine is very suffer. I know the war. I am so. My sympathies go to everyone in Ukraine. In Gaza. It's a very difficult time. I don't know what the. Let me see weather. Costa Mesa today is at 82. It's 82. It's very hot, and it's been hot like this the last week. It's just been like, it's kind of like been a heat wave. Yeah, if around Newport in Orange County is 82, then I don't know how much is it in Inland Empire. It's probably 100. Somebody told me the desert is like 117. I was like, 117? How do you even survive? I guess people can survive anywhere. If people can live in a freaking desert, people can live anywhere. I just don't know how they do it. I don't know how people live in a desert at this time of the year. Yeah, 82. Can you imagine? You can right now you can't stay outside unless you're at the beach, and if you stay inside there has to be air conditioning, or you have to be inside the water. California is expensive, and it's easy to be homeless here in California because rent is very expensive. when most people cannot live inland homeless, so they have to stay around the beach towns like San Diego, San Francisco. $82 is high. I mean, sometimes it gets to like 90, but you don't want, like when it's 90 for me, it's game over because I cannot do 90. But if it's 82 near the ocean, then inland is very, very high. Yeah, and it's going to be the next 1 week, the lowest temperature will be 75, and that will be next Thursday. Everything else is above 75. It's kind of like a heat wave right now. Oh, rent, maybe for 1 bedroom in California is like $3,000 almost. It's very expensive. Hi, Mustafa. Hi, Olina. I'm doing good, just chilling on a hot day, trying to regulate my temperature. I know, it's too much, I tell you. And then food is getting expensive because of inflation. It's a very difficult time here in California. Even I don't know how I'm going to survive this year. So subscribe to my channel because I need to know how to survive this year, man. It's not easy. Olina, you're from Ukraine. We are praying for everyone in Ukraine. Nobody deserves to live in a war-torn country, you know. It's very difficult. I come from Kenya, and Kenya is at war with itself because there's a lot of corruption, and you know, Kenya has been so corrupt that corruption has eaten like more than twice our GDP. So imagine everything in Kenya would have been twice as good, whether it comes to healthcare, education, agriculture, transportation. Imagine we would be like twice as good, but because of corruption, we really haven't moved much for the last 10 years. That's sad, but you know, yeah. Olena Tikachuk. Tikachuk. I like that name. Tikachuk. That's how I'd say your name, given my accent. Maybe you say it differently. I'm sorry, everyone says your name wrong. We all have different tongues. You know, everybody comes from very different places where they say their words very differently. When I'm here in America, they tell me I have a thick accent because of my African accent. And there's nothing I can do about my accent. I don't want to change it. I try as much as possible to try to pronounce words in a way that other people comprehend, but there are things like the musicality of my tongue that I don't really speak like an American. Even if I tried, I wouldn't be able to. So I'm kind of, getting used to the fact that there are people who will never understand me and my accent, and that is okay. Yeah, my accent was one of the things that made me feel like conscious when I came to America. Just being afraid that I might not have work, or people might not want to work with me because of my accent. But I realized that I am very patient with other people with different accents. So I just feel like people who are not patient with me and my accent are just assholes, and I don't have time for them. That's just the way I go about it. I live my life. I realized you cannot please everybody. You just gotta live your life. That's all we gotta do. We just live our life, our truth, the way we are. We love ourselves the way we are. Whether people think we have an accent or not, that's their problem. You're born where you're born. Your tongue is your tongue. Never let anybody make you feel ashamed because you have an accent. Your accent is beautiful. And so for me, I stopped worrying because, when people are like so judgmental about your accent, sometimes I feel like they want you to doubt yourself and your intelligence. I never doubt myself and my intelligence, not even once. Not even once. Because I know I am very intelligent. I read books, I talk to people, I listen, I never let people. You have to be patient with people, I think, because for me, I work as a recruiter, and I help a lot of people who speak different languages like Spanish. I'm not going to rush them to say, I always have to be patient because I'm the one who doesn't understand their language and their accent. So I'm always patient. And if it, you imagine like human beings love to communicate and we speak different languages. So the people who are able to be more patient with people from different languages, those are the people who get to learn. Those are the people who get to know other people who are different from them. Those are the people who benefit from intercultural communication. So I find those people more valuable. And patience. Somebody said if you can fast, if you can be patient, and if you can be able to wait, just being a patient person who waits. You can wait, you can be patient, you can fast. You're a complete human being. Because those are the qualities of a higher being, of our higher nature. We don't eat anything, we can wait, we can fast, we can be patient. I always remember those three things. If you want to improve your life, those three things will change your life completely. Can you fast? Can you be patient? Are you able to wait? Because every good thing, you have to wait for it. Things don't happen like one day you wake up and everything is just happened over one time. Every good thing has to be cultivated with time. So the beauty of patience is huge. Every spiritual teaching will tell you that patience is gold. Patience is gold. Really, sometimes when you're feeling frustrated, the breakthrough is usually right around the corner. And for so many people, making it and being a failure usually is right at the corner where they give up. That is why patience has always been a virtue. Because a lot of people give up right before change and positive things are about to happen. They give up. And then their life completely never changes. If they had waited a little bit more, maybe you've been waiting for 10 years and you're in the last 3 months of something, and then you give up those 3 months right before the big event happens. You give up those 3 months and you waste like 10 years because you could not be patient for those remaining 3 months. A lot of things happen like that. A lot of people, they give up on their marriages, they give up on their careers, they give up on their education, they give up on their eating habits, they give up on their routine. They give up right when they're about to make a breakthrough. It's sad, but it happens. That's why patience is good. And then fasting. If you ever ask any doctor, the easiest way to restart your nervous system, like to hit a reset and to kill diseases from your body, fasting. Fasting is the quickest way to health. When you get sick, naturally you stop eating. The reason our body stops eating is because eating can make you sick. Eating actually makes the body exhausted because it has to keep eliminating waste. If you think about it, it has to keep eliminating the waste that we eat, because once we eat something, now the body has to get rid of it, because it cannot let things decay in our stomach or turn into, it has to really eliminate it. Elimination is a very good system of our body, because if you don't eliminate your waste well, you lose your mental focus, like the body, you can't function well. So that's huge. um, Fasting is the quickest way back to health. Just don't eat, fast, you know. And also like things like waiting, just being able to wait, like when you're in a big line, being able to just wait for your turn, it trains your nervous system and your mind to stay calm, to stay focused. A lot of people, when they start having mental problems, then they cannot be still. They cannot be still even for 2 seconds. They are on their phone. If they are not on their phone, they are jumping around, they're calling somebody. They cannot stay 2 seconds. They cannot be lazy for 2 seconds. And you can see that kind of a mind is not restful. It doesn't know how to wait. So if you can train your mind how to just wait, just wait. You're still, you're waiting, you're okay. Like that is one of the best things you can do for your body. Just being able to stay still, lazy, you're not bothered about life. You're not overthinking, you're restful, you're just, So a lot of people who cannot wait is because their mind is restless. They cannot cultivate a sense of peace within themselves. So they're not able to relax and wait their turn. Stuff like that. That can lead to doing things in a haste. There's this one saying, they say that slow is the pace in life. You never want to rush things. Life is not a sprint. Life is more like a marathon. Like you're running your marathon in life. And a marathon is not a sprint, because a sprint, you run too fast, you burn a lot of energy, and then you crash, right? With a marathon, you pace yourself, you move slowly, you move gradually with a steady pace, but you're moving, but you're not overburning your energy, because you have to be conservative about your energy. You have to preserve your energy. And that's the pace you need to adopt in life. You can't do everything at the same time. I feel sorry for people who do things like, oh, you just got a new job, then you get married, and then you got your first baby. I'm like, why? Why do all those things at the same time? The same year? Like, what's the rush? Truly, what's the rush? Like, why get married the same year, get a promotion the same year, have a baby at the same year? Like, why can't you pace out your life? There is no rush to your life. No, you're not on anybody's time clock that you gotta have this job by 28, then you have to know who exactly you're going to get married to, then you have to figure out whether you want a boy or a girl, and then you must get a boy because you want to name it after the king. I just don't get why in society we have all these demands placed on us when we can live our own lives. I don't longer pace myself. I don't compete with other people. When I was graduating, let's say 10 years ago or 9 years ago, some of my classmates, they had gotten married, they were having kids, they were buying a house, they were even donating like 500,000 to charity causes. I'm like, I wish I had 500,000. Everybody has a very different life story. They came from these rich families. I didn't come from those families. So now you see, like, everybody is different. And there are people you cannot compete with at some point in your life. Let's say somebody has 10 million right now, and you're going to the same school as they are, and you don't have even 200,000. There is no comparison there financially. So I just stopped comparing myself with people a long time ago. I mean, there are people who will always have more money, will be more beautiful, they will be in better health, they will, they will have stronger family ties, they will be more celebrated, there's always going to be somebody better. And so, I cannot compete, you cannot compete with everybody. So the reason why I believe that people should just love their own life and just live the best life you can afford yourself, and the best life that God can afford you, is you make peace with what you have and what you don't have. Just make peace with it. That is why I don't care if people laugh at my accent. I don't care if people, think I am this and that. At some point, you're just gonna live your life. You came here alone, and you're gonna leave this world alone. It's nobody else's business, right? And when we are here and we live in a political system, people think they are better than you because, they come from America, or they come from I don't know where. People will always feel like they are probably better than you. Don't give a shit about that. Don't give even 2 cents about anybody who feels they are better than you, because all of us are unique. We all come here in nature. We are like snowflakes. Every snowflake is different. There has never been 2 snowflakes that were ever identical or the same. Every one of them comes from the patterns of nature, and nature brings uniqueness. And that's what you are. That's what I am. We are all unique. We don't even need to compete. We are all so completely different. So completely different. You're like a snowflake. Since time began in the universe, the whole entire universe, there's never going to be anyone like you. There has never been, and you're the last copy of you. There'll never be like 2 yous. Your life is going to be different. Your experiences are going to be different. You are born at a unique time in history. You look different. There's not going to be somebody who is an exact copy on you, because in the universe, nature likes uniqueness. You're just unique. Oops. You're just unique. The way God created you, you're just unique. And once you realize that, like there's nobody like you, there's never going to be anybody like you, then you realize you cannot compete with anybody. People who are trying to compete with you are silly, because you're different. You're different. So those are the things that for me, I tell myself to wire in a mind that is strong. Because if you want a strong mind, you have to tell yourself things that strengthen the mind. And I don't care whether you read the Bible, the Quran, the Torah. I don't care what it is, but you gotta tell yourself things that empower your mind. Because we program our mind. Everybody knows this by now, that the mind is like a computer. The computer cannot, if you don't have a program in your computer to identify flowers, your computer will not identify flowers because you don't have it. So you can expect your laptop or your iPhone to do things that your neighbor has programmed their laptop to do when you haven't programmed yours to do. It's the same. The mind, our brain is the same. Like, if you haven't programmed your mind to be confident, don't expect yourself to be a confident person, because it does not have that program. It does not understand what it is to be a confident person, or how is it to be somebody with a confident mindset. You have to really program your mind into understanding that, and then it will behave like that. A lot of people, when they fail in relationships, they don't understand how. Hi Eric, hi my love. A lot of people, when they fail in relationships, they don't really understand how it is to be a loving person. Hi, obvious true. Yeah, so when they don't understand how it is to be a loving person, how can you expect them to be loving parents, loving partners, loving friends? When people don't understand the mind of love, that's why they fail in love. And so funny for me, because when I lost my parents when I was 6. So your parents are the biggest people who show you love, and they show you how love is and how to treat people with kindness and love. And my mom was truly loving, 100% unconditional love. I always loved my mom. Like, when people say they don't love their moms, I'm like shocked. Like, how do you not love your mom? Because I feel like I had the best mom in the whole universe. Some people just don't have that kind of a relationship with their mothers. But I loved my dad. My dad loved me. I loved my mom. My mom loved me. So, like, I understood how it is to be kind to people, how to be compassionate, nice. But I'm always shocked when some people, they don't have that. And even when they have parents, like they live with their parents, some people still don't have compassion towards other people. Yeah. It's so shocking for me. They're very unhinged. So I get, like, what you don't know, you truly don't know. Like, if you don't know how to love, then you don't know how to love. We don't know what we don't know. But it's very sad. That's what I think. That's all. Maybe I'm blabbing a lot today, but I'm not. I'm saying facts here. These are facts. These are facts. You know it. I know it. I never lie. I never lie about mental health. I'm very open and willing to share my knowledge, because first of all, I don't know everything, but I know a lot. I know when it comes to mental health, I consider myself 1% of the people who know what it is to have good mental health. That one, 100%. I feel I have some authority on mental health and coaching. If you want to know somebody is going to give you good advice or not, just look at their character. Look at their character. If you don't think this is a trustworthy person, you cannot trust them. The way they make decisions, the way they talk to people, the energy that they give you. I always say, always trust your very first gut instinct. If you feel something is wrong, it's wrong. The very first time your gut doesn't lie to you. Like, I have never been wrong. 100% of the time when I followed my instincts, I have never been wrong. There are things that the first thing that like the first gut instinct that you have, always follow that. Always follow that. You will never get wrong. Let me tell you one time, a scary thing that happened to me. And I'll never forget what my friend told me like 10 years later after I told her what had happened. I was living in Kenya, and my friends and I went out, like, how you go out to a club? We went out, and this guy asked for my number, and he says, well, I can ask you if we can meet tomorrow, have a drink or something, during the day. And I was open. So he didn't call me the next day, but the next week, he told me, oh, can we meet in town for a drink? And I was like, okay, fine, let's meet for a drink in town. So I go to meet him, and then I thought he was going to be alone, right? But he was not alone. With him, there was like, how many? There were like 5, 7 other guys with him. And so they caught me by surprise. Like, I was like, I wasn't expecting to meet with him. So I was thinking that maybe he was going to offer, we split with those guys and we go, just with our date, go along with our date and have a drink. And he was telling me that, oh, we all go to the same school. We go here at Nairobi University. And yeah, we can go hang out at our dorm and everything. And I was like, you know what? I am not going to go to any guy's dorm, and I'm not, I'm not going to go to, it's like a hostel. I'm not going to go to any guy's hostel, somebody that I don't know, and I'm not going to go hang out with strangers. Like, I've been outnumbered by strangers. Like, there are clearly like 7 of them and me alone, and I don't know any of them. I was like, I'm never going to go anywhere outnumbered by total strangers. And so I was like, no, I'll just go back home. And that was that. And I went home, and I remember feeling in my gut that if I went there, that would have been a fatal decision for me. Like, I just knew. So I go along, and I meet this guy, like, I meet this girl like 10 years later, like maybe 12, 15 years later. I am talking to one of my friends, and she used to know people at that Nairobi University, and she was telling me that they would use to put drugs on a woman, and they would gang rape them in the dorms in those schools. So she was like, you are so lucky that you did not go there. And I always think that somebody said the other day, I saw somebody's comment on the internet, like, always trust your first gut instinct. They told me that, and they told me to always trust my first gut instinct. And the second advice they told me is never ever go anywhere you've been outnumbered by strangers. Maybe they are calling you, oh, let's go see a piece of land or property, and you're looking to buy, and they are like 3 of them and you're alone. Don't go anywhere you've been outnumbered by strangers, whoever they are. Even if they look trustworthy, there's a baby there, and they look all innocent and fluff. No, don't. And always trust your instinct. If you feel like you can't trust a situation, your body never lies. Our subconscious mind gets the information very quickly. It processes things with lightning speed, but our rational mind is always the last one to know. Like, your rational mind is usually the last one that understands things. So when we tell you follow your instinct, is because you've energetically, we are energy beings, like we are energy people, we are emotional beings, but we are also mostly we are energy beings, and then we are emotional, and then we are rational. So your rational mind is the last to compute something, but your instincts are the first to understand a situation. So whenever you get that feeling that this is a bad situation, you've read it correctly 100% of the time. Energy does not lie. That is the one thing that I know 100%. Energy does not lie. And because we are wired to have a nervous system, our system of energy that can relate, can smell things, it can understand things from a mile away. It can understand things. Like, you never understand how good we are at our instincts, because I know my friend, she has a dog, and one time they were like on that another street close to the freeway, and the dog could smell me, because they were kind of close to my house, but they would still have to walk another 10 minutes to get to my place. But her dog could smell me already, right? And the dog started moving. She doesn't know, where the dog is taking her, and they find themselves at my doorstep, and she's like, oh my God, she could tell that you're here, So there are things that even like dogs can smell. They have a good sense of smell. What we do, we have a very good sense of instincts, and most of us, we don't realize that this non-rational mind is picking up information. You're picking up information with your sense of smell. You're picking up, aggression cues. You're looking at somebody, and your body is telling you something does not add up here. They don't, the whole story is not coming together, and you should trust that. You should always trust that, because like your body has been trained to read people, to have an instinct, and energy does not lie. Ever, ever, ever. Your first instinct, the correct instinct. If you can train yourself to understand that, you're going to save yourself a lot of things, like failed relationships, that job that they were not going to select you anyway. You already know, heartache. You're going to spare yourself heartache. You're going to spare yourself a lot of things. Anyway, I'm feeling a little bit thirsty. I gotta go drink some water. But it was nice to see you guys. And I also need to go and do things like charge my phone. It was nice seeing you. Thanks for the likes, and I'll see you tomorrow.